Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with Fan TV, back action of the video. Like the content of this video, go smash that like button. Like the content of this channel, go and subscribe, man. Look, so the Ravens are in their first, 3-day session of OTAs, right? We want to talk about the first 2 days of the OTA period. Get my thoughts on it. Talk about the players that was in attendance, right? And talk about a young player that has an opportunity to really, seize the moment, right? Can they hop on the depth chart, right? It's a very, very early on in OTAs, but it's still something that we can look out for, right? So let's talk about the people in attendance, right? So this was a major story, right, for the Ravens, right? That a lot of veteran players were in attendance, right? You want to go down the list of people, all the receivers, Zay Flowers, Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, right? It was great to see DeAndre Hopkins out there since day one, right? It was beautiful to see him out there, right? Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Ronnie Stanley. You go on the defensive side, you got Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins. Who else was out there? Roquan Smith, Matabike, Travis Jones, right? Point being that pretty much any Raven that you could think of was out there for OTAs, right? For the first 2 days, right? And that's a beautiful sight to see, right? And one guy I didn't mention, was Lamar Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson wasn't there day one, but he was there day two, right? So I don't know if that was a concerted effort by the Ravens to say, hey, this season we want everybody at OTAs, right? We want to start off strong. We want to start this offseason program the right way. But it's good to see, right? I'll leave it at that, okay? Because in my opinion, I'm not the biggest, what happens in May in these first rounds of OTAs is going to have a tremendous effect of, what's going to happen in January, just during the regular season, right? I'm not really saying that. But it is nice to see, right? I know when Lamar Jackson missed day one, there were some fans that were nervous, anxious about it. Oh, well, if example of quarterback, can be here, why can't Lamar Jackson be here? Like, to me, it wasn't a big deal, right? It really wasn't a big deal at all, right? So I'm glad that he did show up. Day two, I was assuming that he'll be there for the last day as well. And, it's always good to see Lamar just out there throwing the football around. You know what I mean? It's always good to see, right? So I'm excited for that. Now, let's talk about some of the things that did happen at practice, right? We talked about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was there day two, and he was sharp, right? Jonas Schaefer, that's how we're really back in full season, practice, getting up, ramping up towards training camp kind of mode is that when we have, practice numbers, how many pass attempts, things like that, right? So Jonas Schaefer put out that Lamar Jackson was 10 for 11 on the day for the part that was open to the media. Only pass that was incomplete was a drop. So Lamar Jackson was perfect on the day. Okay, so great news to hear, right? So Lamar Jackson, at this point of his career, we know what we're going to get, right? He's a finely tuned player, two-time, could have been, should have been, three-time MVP, right? So we know what we're going to get for Lamar Jackson, right? So I'm not surprised by it, but it is always great news to hear that. All right, another guy that, we're talking about players stepping up, Tez Walker. Okay, apparently he had a touchdown catch. He was very active with the ones and twos. He had a nice day. Tez Walker is going to be a guy that his role on the team could still be needed. The Ravens don't have somebody who stretches the field that's currently in the offense, right? They used Rashad Bateman for a lot of that, and Rashad Bateman got better at that as the season went on. Last year, he was really good at it, right? You know what I mean? At certain points, right? But I think if they really want somebody to truly excel in that role, that's kind of a role for Tez Walker, right? So it's very early days, right? Very, very early days. But if Tez Walker continues to play well, there's a role for him in this offense, right? The Ravens still need somebody that, okay, he's in the game, he might take the top off the defense, right? And that's something that the defense has to think about. Another layer the defense has to think about. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. Now, I was talking about a second-year player that could take a leap, right? That could be somebody that it's very, very early days, but if they play their cards right, could be in the line for a big role, right? So that play that I was talking about was TJ Tampa. All right, TJ Tampa, second-year corner. The Ravens felt like last year when they drafted him in the fourth round that they got a steal, right? That's how they felt. This was a guy that had second, third round aspirations, top 100 pick kind of aspirations. It didn't happen for him. I think he might have been injured during the process or whatnot, but I never, that doesn't have anything to me to do with his talent. Okay, so, but fourth round pick, they never getting anything from him last year, which is fine, right? He was injured, playing some on special teams, it's fine, right? But the Ravens need a second outside corner when they play in their nickel package and they move Marlon into the slot. They need somebody else on the outside. Now for TJ Tampa, the Ravens really didn't do anything this offseason to say that hey, we're looking somewhere else, right? You draft 2 corners, but that's in the 6th round. You get Kone, you get Longer Bean, but those guys are 6th round picks, right? They're fighting for just a chance to be on the team, right? The only thing they do veteran wise is they bring in Chidobe Awuzie, okay, veteran corner. To me, he feels like a guy that if he Tampa doesn't step up and take this role, we know that we have Chidobe Awuzie here. That's a guy that's a veteran presence, solid player, good player when he's healthy. That's always the key with Awuzie, when he's healthy, right? I don't think the Ravens, when they full time, give him a big role on the defense because they know he comes with an injury history, right? So when I look at the Ravens cornerback depth chart, I look at the team right now, when they are in their nickel package, right? When they want to put Marlon in the slot, because Marlon is a dynamic player, he can play inside and outside, as we know. He's one of the best players on this team. When they see that and they want to put Marlon in the slot, that second outside corner spot next to Nate Wiggins is still open and available. And TJ Tampa has a prime opportunity to seize it. Now, like I said, it's early days. It's only OTAs, right? We're only in the first few days of OTAs. But if TJ Tampa wants to really take that spot, the audition really starts now, right? So when I was thinking about it, it really came from this tweet on Twitter from, I think it's called Sleeper Ravens, right? For the little sleeper fantasy bet net, whatever. And they asked, who you most excited to see the OTAs, right? That was my thought with TJ Tampa, because if we're being realistic, his audition for that cornerback 2 when the Ravens are in a nickel package, it starts now, right? Are you going to be that guy that steps up and takes that role? So for TJ Tampa, that's a guy that I'm really excited to see what can happen with him. And yeah, I mean, we'll know more as, training camp goes along and things like that, when it's actually more contact, more physicality going to be, going to happen. As of right now, not too much, right? But as the summer progresses, I want to hear TJ Tampa's name being involved in the mix, if I'm being quite honest. All right. So last thing too, right? John Harbaugh dropped a little surprising nugget at at his press conference, right? When he was talking to the media. It was about Darius Washington. Okay, he said that Darius Washington had a clean Achilles tear, which he expects him to recover from and be a part of this team late in the season. So we're talking about around December time. All right. Now, for me, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but I am going to pay attention just because of the simple fact that John Harbaugh is notoriously known for being very, very vague and kind of, I mean, vague and cryptic is the same thing. I don't want to say the same very repeatedly. But yeah, he's known for being very vague when he comes to talk about injuries and timetables and timelines. So for him to actually say this about Darius Washington in the media, give a concrete time. Now when it comes to December, I'm not going to say, well, John Harbaugh, you said this. But it's very, very interesting because he doesn't typically do that, right? So for him to say that, he must feel pretty good about the chances for Darius Washington really coming back next season and helping the Ravens and actually participating and playing. To me, that's noteworthy. All right, Darius Washington was a guy who was in line to have a major role on the team this year, and obviously got cut short because of the Achilles injury, right? So I'm putting it at between a 1% and 5% kind of long shot kind of thing, right? I'm being completely honest, just because let's say he is recovering from the Achilles tear, right? He still will have to come back and get in football shape. And by the time December comes around, we're getting prepared for playoff football. So Darius Washington is going to be in football shape, physically prepared to enter into playoff football right away. I'm going to say no. Sorry, I had a call coming. I'm going to say no. All right. So for me, that kind of makes this a long shot possibility for this to even happen. All right. So, but I thought it was noteworthy. I thought it was worth mentioning. For the fact that John Harbaugh would even bring that up. Because like I said, he doesn't really openly kind of talk about timetables or injuries like that. That's just not something he usually does. All right. So that's my thoughts on it, man. That's my thoughts on the first couple of days of OTAs. Something else happens on OTAs. We'll talk about it then as well. But I will say this as my closing thought. I do believe that, having a bunch of players there, veterans, or Roquan Smith is there too. I didn't mention Roquan earlier, but having a bunch of veterans there for OTAs, it's nice for the fans to see, right? So I'm not going to make the biggest deal about it. But I will say that maybe there's a different mindset. Dafi Owe mentioned that, we're tired of finishing where we shouldn't be finishing, right? We know that we should be going further. So maybe this is a sign with all the players there, with all the people there, all the personnel there, that it's a different kind of focus coming into the year. I'm not going to get too wrapped up in messages and things like that in May, but I will say this is a good start, right? This is a good start. And that's my thoughts on the OTAs, right? So it's a good start. We'll see where it goes from there. We want to see the guys healthy and strong all throughout the summer so we can be ready and firing during the season and into the playoffs, obviously. All right, but that's my thoughts on it, man. Give me your thoughts in the comments. It's Gabriel to the Fan TV. I'm out.